My name's Larry O. I'm a music producer from Providence, Rhode Island originally. Still live in Rhode Island. I've been using FL Studio for 20 years. I'm an FL Studio power user, they call it. I love to learn. I love to teach. So that's what I've been focusing on the last 5-6 years, is really heavily focused on teaching the producer community new tips, tricks, and primarily in FL Studio. I used to do a lot of studio sessions before I started the content. I dabbled in different styles of content all the time throughout the years of being a music producer and an engineer. And in the studio, I would find myself always trying to spit whatever game I had learned over the course of my career and give it to others in the studio. And I kind of started dabbling in that and posting that stuff on social media, and the stuff started to do well. And I realized, like myself, we all love to learn. We want to learn as fast and as easy as possible. So I just kind of catered to that. I kind of filled that void, especially with the short form stuff, really just heavily focused on the producer community. It was 2017 or 2018, and I finally found that something clicked with that content. And I just really went in and I doubled and tripled down on it and just went totally in on that. Because beforehand, I was doing a lot of content like cook-up videos and things of that nature, like you see, like the MPC keyboard videos type videos. And I just went in from there, 2017, 2018, and just really went crazy on that style of content. It is a gratification type of thing where I see it in the comments. People that I meet here at NAMM come up to me and say, yo, man, your videos are so dope. I learned so much from your videos. That means a lot to me. That's huge for me. The fact that I can offer something to the producer community and teach something along the way, along their journey as well. Like that gratification, that's huge for me. I love that. That's very rewarding that somebody can learn something from me. I think my mom really, she was a single mom of 3 boys, you know what I mean? And that really, just that work ethic, her working 70 hours a week, I think just being around that in general, I just rubbed off on me. I think that's really what it is. There was nobody that did music in my family. Nobody. I was the first one to even dabble in music or like entrepreneurship in general. I come from a family of nurses and teachers, which that kind of makes sense. That teacher gene must have got passed down to me, you know what I mean, through that, because my mom is a nurse, then became a teacher as well. So that stuff just rubs off on you, I think. And I just became super obsessed with production and FL Studio, wanting to make a career some way off of music. I had to do this. I could not work a normal job. So I knew my work ethic had to be that much more because it's hard, it's tough. So the work ethic is a huge thing. It's a challenge sometimes, but at the same time, I knew now I'm almost, like 7-8 years into like the educational stuff. There's so much to learn about, especially specifically FL Studio, but music production and engineering and recording in general. There's always something new. There's always a new technique. There's always a new way to do something. It's just a never-ending cycle of things that pop up, especially with working so closely with FL Studio. There's so many new things that they're constantly dropping. There's so many new things to talk about and educate the community on. I always have something to talk about, always. And then if I do get stuck, there's always something, I can bring something back up that I brought up in the past, because there's always new producers coming into the community on a daily basis. I do have a close relationship, especially over the last 2 years, especially since Josh came over on board in the artist relations. We've had that personal connection where something new's coming along. He's like, hey, we got this dropping soon. We want to check it out. Let us know what you think. We got this in the works. And just that relationship over the last couple of years has been huge. Yeah, so I get to test some things out and utilize some things, especially new packs that come along with plugins. I get early access to them, which is really cool. They listen to the community. They have their ear to the ground. They really, really listen. And now that I kind of have that, like I said, that personal relationship with them, I find that that is definitely one of their most important things that they try to do on a consistent basis, is listen to the producer community. And that's what's really set them aside from other DAWs out there. You can see a lot of other DAWs are starting to, I think. They might look at a DAW like FL and be like, they're making major moves because I think they really listen. They're making other DAWs really listen too. I think about that a lot too, because, my main focus was always just making dope music, right? When you start out as a producer, all you want to do is cook up. You might have the idea in your head that you want to sell beats, or you want to, like, you want to get that major placement. And that was always the main focus. But once that changed into more content creation, I had to find a good balance. So without trying to push it too much, because that has taken a step back, I think, enjoy the creation of making music a little bit more, actually, because the pressure of getting that major placement, getting that sale isn't there so much for me personally as where it used to be, because I have the content creation stuff going on. So I can really enjoy the creation process with close friends that I've been doing music with forever, and enjoy it and have a lot more fun with it, in a sense, because the pressure of having this song blow up is not there. I don't need that song to blow up. I just need to make it to be happy, to keep that creative juice flowing. I've made so many different connections with artists, other producers to collaborate with. The internet is a massive place, and you can meet anybody from anywhere in the world and collaborate and work with them on different projects, and essentially never meet them in person, but it opens up a whole nother door. Number one, it's fun, and I think people have fun with it. They know that I don't take myself too seriously. I'm a goof when it comes to certain things. And that started out, there's a funny story behind it. Me and a good friend of mine, an artist friend that I still work with on music, his name's Peter Piffin. Really, really dope artist. We were in the studio nonstop working on EPs and music and songs and the ideas, and we would just hang out, even if we weren't making music. We would watch, the guy that started the Men's Not Hot. He's a comedian, and he had a variety show. So we went down that rabbit hole of his variety show. I can't remember his name, but it's a British thing where they say, you get me, you get me. And he would like end everything with, you get me, you get. And then we just caught on to it, and it became an inside joke. And then it turned into, you get me. And I would put just like a different emphasis on it. And then I started putting it in my content, because I used to say it after everything. And so would he. So it ended up just in my content. And then before you know it, people are saying it in the comments, and I'm putting different spins on it. So if I drop a video or about mixing, it's you mix me. And now I just posted a video today on side chaining, and people are commenting, I didn't even put it in there, but people are putting it in there, you duck me, you duck me. And I'm like, yo, it just took on a world of its own, kind of, in a sense, and it's just fun. When I started out, at first, I wasn't comfortable being on camera, right? And I would just do voiceovers. That's the first style of content that really did well for me. And I think that adding that style in there without my face being on camera, but just having my voice and my personality still kind of there with that goofy, you get me personality, and that kind of, people connect with that. People also connect with just ABC content, straight to the point, no personality behind it. But I don't even know if it was like a conscious thing, or if it's just a me thing that I just had to integrate that into the content. But I did notice that it helped. There's some things that definitely have sped up the workflow a little bit. There's some mastering stuff out there that helped me just a little bit, because I'm not a mastering guy, or I'm not the best music theory guy. So if there's something like Lemonade that can help me out with that just a little bit, give me that little extra push and speed up that a little bit. And I'm a big believer in, if the AI apps, plugins, brands, I believe that they can actually help producers learn too. I don't like the fact that it can just do it for you, and you don't get anything out of it besides the end result. I love the fact that a lot of these plugins like Lemonade and like a master plan, like they're teaching you what's going on too at the same time. So not only is it helping your workflow, it's actually teaching you. So then you can take that knowledge, that information to the next beat, the next song. I think you need to build a personal brand. So like I said, you could take that wherever it goes. So if it's not gonna happen, but say FL Studio, I'm still my own person. I still have my own brand, you know what I mean? People still know me for educational content. I think the same goes for an artist and other producers. Even if your goals are to get major placements, I still think, you look at some of the most successful producers out there, I think a lot of them have that personal brand, whether it be because they personally go to studios and sessions and meet up in person. That's still a part of your personal brand. People within that network, even though it's a smaller thing and it maybe is not you going viral, it's you going viral maybe in a smaller circle. It's still that personal brand. Every time I see this guy in the studio, great dude, great personality, great music, great vibes every single time, I gotta do more work with him or her, you know what I mean? It's just, I think it's super important to build that personal brand and character. It's given me so many connections, like just meeting guys like you and guys with your team and other producers. Like early on, I met through J-Tech. Like there's tons of artists that I would have never met before, and producers if it wasn't for BeatStars. I think anything that brings the community together, and I think BeatStars is huge in the community and can bring so many artists and producers together, and it has, and it will continue to, and make a career for producers where they wouldn't have had a career otherwise, you know? Huge for the community. I'm all about it. It's tough to say. I know that things are, like we talked about with the AI stuff, things are moving towards more AI. It just is what it is. I think it's just gonna happen. A lot of us have mixed feelings about it. Certain things I love, certain things I don't love. I know a lot of people can relate, but I think a lot of it's going in that direction. But people still love the human aspect of it. I think what draws people to making music is physically doing it. You know, so I don't think that's ever gonna go anywhere. No matter what AI comes along, I think people are still gonna want to feel like they created it. They might feel like they get a little help along the way, but that's the same help that people will get with MIDI packs, with sample packs. I look at it like that. I think they're still gonna wanna feel like they created something, and that's not gonna go anywhere. Building an email list is definitely one of the most important things that you could do still to this day. No matter how like technology moves and no matter how these industries move, email list is still one of the top forms of communication. It's really not going anywhere. So any type of content creator, music producer, engineer, artist, like you gotta build your platforms around, you gotta diversify. I started out with Instagram. I think that's very important to find one that you can not burn yourself out on, one that you consume the most and understand the most. And then from there, once you start growing, make sure you diversify SMS list, email marketing, have your own store, your own website, create your own ecosystem so nobody can take that away from you. I think it's very important to own your own audience. Whereas like I said, if IG just goes out of, it's just gone tomorrow, or like TikTok, it's just happening. If that's gone tomorrow, you need a way to reach that audience that you've worked really hard on building. And you gotta diversify, whether it's building a Discord, an email list, an SMS list, all of the above, as much as possible. Being a content creator, I get approached a lot for brand deals. So I am doing a decent amount of brand deals with companies that I really love to work with, and I love their products and I use on a day-to-day basis. That's very important as well. And finding a way to bring that to the community, and like, so that way it can still bring value to the community without feeling like, oh, it's just a paid thing that I'm doing to make money. You got to make a living, but at the same time, the main focus has always been the producer community. So educating and bringing value in some way, always. And that's definitely a huge part of my platform and my message. I find that it's just a little bit easier to do by myself. I think it's just one less step or obstacle, and it's not too overwhelming. It's good. And I think it's also good because you have, like, when I come to places like this, I'm talking to a high up that I talk to in an email chain, or like I'm meeting a CEO of this brand and this, like I'm meeting you, you know what I'm saying? That building that personal relationship. Whereas if I had done this with a manager, there wouldn't be that personal connection type thing. So it has its ups and downs. Definitely more pros than cons though. I think just doing it myself. I think it's huge, man, because like I said, you build that personal relationship with these brands, and you have all the power to say yes, say no, do whatever you want, really. And the producer community is filled with producers that are doing it just like I am, making a great living and having a lot of fun and building a great community. So I think it's important. I think when you get busy to a certain point, I think it might be wise to get some help, but it's hard to find somebody that you trust that can help with it, somebody that's going to work really hard for you. And I've been through the ups and downs of that, being in bands. I was in a band for a while, and we had management, and going through those steps and that process is just, it's tiring and it's aggravating sometimes. And you lose out, like you said, you might lose out on deals because of it sometimes too. You might lose out on opportunities because it's slow. Somebody needs something done now, it might not even get to you. It goes to your manager and they just say, oh, well, he or she doesn't have the time to do that right now. Whereas if I'm doing that and I know I really want to build a partnership with them, I might finagle some things around and just get it done. Get it done now and send it out. Before you know it, that relationship turns into a 3-year, relationship with that brand, that person, that company. My biggest struggle is probably taking on a little bit too much, like on the product side, not so much the management side like we were just talking about. I think that I need to just kind of like bite the bullet and like outsource for certain things that I would like, oh, I need to do this. I need to be doing this. I need control over that. I need to scale. And obviously I can't do that by myself. So this year I'm really focusing on that, where I have a store, an online store with e-commerce stuff where I do courses and templates all for FL Studio. And I'm looking at the bigger picture where if I can give a percentage to somebody, that percentage is worth more than the zero if I can't do it all by myself. So if I can bring somebody on the team and even give a percentage and give incentive to that person, it's worth way more than if I'm trying to do it all myself. You gotta say, fuck it. You gotta just do it. Even if it's, I would say like, if you're deathly afraid of being on camera, ease into it. I eased into it. I really did. I didn't put my face out there. I was just doing voiceovers. And even that, I go back and I listen. I'm like, I'm kind of proud of myself for doing it because I sound kind of shitty on this. I like, this is a bad video. You know, to me nowadays, I'm kind of proud of myself for just saying, just do it, you know? And I learned so much over that time, practicing and just doing. Just do it. Even if it doesn't go out there, just do it. Even if it's just for you, getting a little bit more comfortable on camera or on mic, just do it. Maybe don't even post it if you don't want to, if you feel that uncomfortable about it. But the more you do it, it's inevitable that you will get more comfortable with it and you'll feel better about it. I'm still on that same mindset that it doesn't have to be perfect. My videos, a lot of them are throw and go with an iPhone selfie, and those videos will do really well. And it goes to show you, like, no professional video or audio at any level is 100% necessary. It's all about the message, all about the content.